Hi all. I'm in the greenhouse today potting these tomatoes, and so I thought I would show you what my process is and what my absolute favorites are. So here's some video that I shot 4 weeks ago, exactly 4 weeks ago, when I planted these from seed. And then I'll come back in here and show you how I pot these. So it's 36 and sunny outside today, so that means it's almost 90 in the greenhouse. So I'm gonna go open it up and get some cool air flowing through there. It's always good when you can take advantage of the sun, but the cool spring air, 36 will cool it from 90 to 80 in a matter of 30 minutes. See how nice the door opened? It's not sticky. So I'm just gonna leave that open. There's no fans on in here. That's not what I wanted. Well, it's 66 here in the cold room. Oh, hi Skittles. And it's 91 in the south bed. This time of year, the temperature regulating in the greenhouse gets to be very hands-on. Looks like I need to pick some spinach today too. We'll have some lettuce wraps for dinner. Huh. There's the egg basket. Oops. I was looking for that this morning. I just had to put eggs in my pockets and risk a pocket omelet. Don't tell Joel. I'm always getting on him for picking something up and putting it down in the wrong place. I mean, my desk is a mess. But this is what I'm after. Rebar Seed Company. Okay. Tomatoes. Look at them all. And I'm only making 2 trays. Oh, that's not even all of them. I got all of these new ones from a new company called Seed Treasures. I'm super excited because it's a seed company up here in northern Minnesota. Ooh, let's look at these. I'm excited about these tomatoes because this is a really small place up here in northern Minnesota. I think they're in Angora, and everything they grow up here is very cold tolerant. So obviously if they're farther north than I am and it can grow there, but this bill bean, I have a friend that grows it, and she said they get to be just huge. They're like 2 pounds on average. Sweet Italian, Gilberti. That's a paste. I must have been in the paste tomato mood. This is a cherry. One of their favorite is Coyote. This is Gina Lee's Golden. I think that's a yellow slicer. Rebecca Allen is another slicer. Have any of you heard of these? Italian Tree. That one was supposed to be really prolific, why I chose that one. So I'm really excited to try these, but that's not even all. I have some new ones from Johnny's too. Black Cherry and Sakura are cherry tomatoes that are supposed to be good market varieties to grow in the greenhouse. This is my first trial with determinate tomatoes. So BHN 589. Very sexy name. Super Sweet 100, it's a standard. I always grow those. Matt's Wild Cherries, I've heard very good things about. And then Oh, this is some more of my cipollini onions that I'm gonna plant out in the, I'm gonna direct sow out in the outside garden. So it has been about 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Oh, we're just getting hotter. Forgot to turn that sucker on. That'll pull all the air in from there. Now we'll cool it down. Well, I came in here for something. Alright, I figured out here I have 38 varieties of tomatoes, and I can do 53 total plants this year. So I wrote all the varieties down, and I'm just gonna go through and pick. Oh my gosh. I gotta make sure you fit in the favorites. So we're going to say Orange Peruche. Favorite cherry. 2 for sure. Berry's Crazy, we'll do 1. That's about all you need. I'm only gonna have like 1 of some of these varieties. Joel, I need more beds. Where else can I put tomatoes? So it's too hot for me to shut the fans off in here today, but I did want to be in the greenhouse and show you the seeds that I got started today. So I started with cucumbers, and what I've learned about cucumbers is you either want to direct sow them or find a way that you don't have to take them out of the pot. So what I've used the last couple of years are these CowPots. It's just dried cow manure, and then you plant the whole thing in the ground. So I took measurements this year. I had Owen come out and help me, and we actually measured the beds so that I could get more accurate numbers. I'm famous for starting way too many seeds, and I probably still did this year, but something new we're doing in here this year is this trellis here. So I tested it last year. I had 1 trellis, so it goes up to the brace, and then there's going to be another one that'll go between these here so that it can climb across. And it worked really well last year, even with my spider mite problem. But I have room to put 7 of these trellises in the greenhouse, so I'm going to do 7 of them and talk to the co-op about selling cucumbers, because I won't be able to unload them all at the market. But my favorite varieties, I did 2 pickling varieties. This homemade pickles I had really good luck with last year from Territorial. It was super prolific. And then I did the Parisian pickling cucumber also. This one my package kind of got, but it's another Baker Creek Parisian pickler, and it was also very prolific. So with 4 of these, I should have plenty of cucumbers to make pickles. The ones I actually, so the pickling ones I like to grow outside. The ones inside that don't need to be pollinated, or they don't need pollinators, are the unagi. This is a huge hit at the market. We love it. I sell it to neighbors. It's a huge hit, and it grows really easily in the greenhouse. Like, it's huge in here. It's an English cucumber, so smooth skin, you know, very little tiny seeds. So, and then another slicer, I would consider that a slicer, is Bella from Territorial. That one was really good too. It doesn't get nearly as big. The 3 snacker kinds that I grow, my 2 favorites are from Johnny's, the Diva and the Katrina. Those are both, like, you pick them when they're like 4 or 5 inches long, and they are just, you could just eat them by the bucketful. And this is the Baker Creek one, the muncher that I really like. This one, I actually made pickles out of too. It worked really well for that. So the way I do it is I brine them for a few days before I actually have enough to make them. It worked well for pickles for me. So unfortunately now I've moved closer to the fan. So hopefully it's not louder. Maybe I'll just shut this one off. Yeah, we'll shut that one off for a few minutes. So what I'm doing different with the cucumbers this year is basically I'm growing more of them. What I'm doing differently for tomatoes is this. This is all the tomatoes I'm growing. So now I know you're asking, well, what if one doesn't germinate, Nina? Well, of course I did more than 58 seeds. There are. So if I said here that I wanted purple zebra, I only wanted to do one. I used one soil block and then I put 2 seeds in it. So I doubled all the seeds just to hedge my bets on germination. So here you can see is my purple zebra soil block. But they're all in here. It's crazy. So these are all my favorites, plus what's new. These are my top 7 slicers and top 2 cherries. And I've been growing a lot of these for years now. This is my #1 Thorburns terracotta tomato. It's a mix of the umami with the sweet. It's a beautiful color. This doesn't really do it justice. I'll see if I can find a better picture and put it up here. But it's got pretty pinks and greens and orange in it. I think it's considered an orange tomato, and it's my first tomato to ripen and my last tomato to ripen, inside and outside. Remember what I said about my very favorites are versatile and easy to grow, but also this one is the best tasting tomato I've ever had. I know everybody's taste buds are different, but try it. You won't be sorry. My second favorite, or it might be my second first favorite, I just found this one last year from Territorio, Momotaro. It's a Japanese tomato, I believe. I think what I read about it was that it won taste test awards in Japan. That's why I think it's. But another one, it's like a dark pink. It's not even quite like a red tomato, but another one that has a flavor all its own, like the Thorburns terracotta. But this one is sweeter. I mean, I can't say how good this tomato is. It tastes so good. Let's finish. Okay, so along with Thorburns terracotta, I do also love their Thorburns lemon, and it's very prolific. It's a great. We really like orange and yellow tomatoes here, and that's a great yellow tomato. This is another great yellow tomato that gets huge. Kellogg's Breakfast, super sweet. I always tell people at the farmers market, like the yellow tomatoes, the pineapple, the Kellogg's, the Thorburns lemon. Do you like a fruity tomato? Here's another yellow. This is Joel's very favorite, Dr. Witchy's yellow from Baker Creek. Love, 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 and it also gets huge. But all of those are very fruity. Here's another favorite, Aunt Ruby's green, German green. This one stays green. When it's ripe, you gotta just kind of squeeze it and feel. But another very fruity tomato. I guess we're not as big into the classic tomato flavor as we are the fruity tomatoes. And my 2 favorite cherry tomatoes, I found Orange Fruche. I think was it just last year, maybe 2 years ago. I can't remember. But like people compare it to Sun Gold. If you've had Sun Gold, it might be a little more popular. I think it's better than Sun Gold. They get a little bit bigger than the Sun Gold. At least they did for me. Oops, sorry. At least they did for me. and super prolific. I was picking them early into October, I think, but delicious. I love this one. It probably really is my very favorite cherry tomato. Barry's Crazy Cherry is another favorite of ours. I really like yellow cherries, but there's all of them I find split so easily, which doesn't mean they taste bad. They taste great, but they're hard to sell at the market. Berries doesn't split like the other yellows do, so that is why I like this one a little bit more. Now, it's not to say I'm not growing other yellow cherry tomatoes, because I do like the flavor of others, but this is a favorite because I can sell it because it doesn't split. A couple that I wanted to tell you I did not like, and I think this is pretty typical for anything that is marketed as being an early vegetable in the season. This early cherry was not good. The skin was thick. There was no flavor. I mean, I guess it grew fine, but it just was not. There were so many other good cherry tomatoes to eat. I never put. I think I tried it once, and I was like, ugh. No, I think I did go back then in the heat of the summer and try it again. And I'm like, nope, I'm never growing that again. So that was my least favorite. And then this blush cherry, well, it's super pretty, but again, and maybe it was my growing conditions. It had a real thick skin, not a real tomato flavor. It's kind of bland. So it could be me. Don't take this as the end all be all for what not to grow, obviously. But I did not like those. Yeah, so I encourage everyone to start their own seeds. It's a lot of fun. It gets you outside early in the season. As you can see, they did awesome in the soil blocks. You see the roots there. I finally have tomato seedlings that are not too leggy, and I've started putting them in here. See how I've got 2 of them in one soil block? But I like to just leave the pot empty. Just kind of gently pull them apart. They naturally pull apart to separate the roots, kind of. And then I put them in here just all the way to the bottom, and then I'll fill it up with soil so that you can plant tomatoes deep. And what it's supposed to do is make the plants sturdier, healthier. I know some tomatoes grow roots off of their stems. Once they reach soil, they're kind of a spreading plant. Like they will spread along the ground if you don't stake them up. This is the terracotta, the Thorburns terracotta. And their roots are really strong. They seem to just kind of pull apart where they're supposed to. And I know the idea behind soil blocking is so you don't have as much damage to the roots, and then you don't have as much transplant shock. Tomato plants are really resilient. I found tomato and lettuces are really resilient. So I do plant more than one seed and then pull them apart. So I won't do that with other things. Like peppers, I don't feel like are that resilient. At least they haven't been for me. So I'll plant one pepper, or I'll plant multiple pepper seeds in it, and then I'll just snip off the one that is the weakest. But tomato plants are pretty resilient. You can kind of knock them around a little bit. I'm gonna end up losing these tabs. I get some pretty sad looking tomatoes. I've got a few inside that I had originally potted them in, where is it? In the CowPots. And I don't know what it is. I'm struggling with the CowPots and tomatoes. They're doing okay for my cucumbers. They're looking really nice. So that is the thing I like about the cucumbers, is even though they direct so really easily, I can do it really early in there and then plant the whole pot out here. You know, like I could probably plant them now. So to have directly sown cucumbers on April, what is it today, the 22nd, that's pretty good. Hopefully I'll have lots of cucumbers at the market right away. I say that and I'm jinxing it, I know. But wouldn't that be cool? That stuff gets me excited. I know, it's weird. I know it's really weird. Maybe what I should do is, because I planted, where I just wanted one plant, I planted 2 seeds in a soil block, and then I had every intention of just snipping off that second one. But look at these, they're beautiful. Like, I have some friends who might want some tomato seedlings. Kristen, Brittany. Maybe I'll do that. So I'll just drop it all the way down to the bottom and add the soil in around it. And press it down. Voila. Now I'll just do that for the rest of these. Look at that. That is gonna grow some beautiful black Krim tomatoes. So here's some that actually, maybe the seed was too old. I put 2 Aunt Ruby's seeds in here. And you can see I put 2 more Aunt Ruby seeds in here, and nothing came up except for that one. So I really hope that one makes it. Well, my goal was to have 53 plants. I have a few extra. I ended up with about 70, so that'll be good. I'll have some backups if some of these these tomatoes don't make it. And maybe I'll have a few to share with friends. But if you're wondering what I'm using here, again, I'm gonna proclaim my love of Bootstrap Farmer trays. So it's their microgreen trays. So you can bottom water. This is, the green part is the microgreen tray. This is their 3.3 pots, I think. And then this is new. So if you've ever dealt with using like the solo cups and you put them in a tray and they all fall over, these little inserts, I think they were like $6 maybe. Really cheap and really worth it, because now when I go to pick things up, nothing is tipping over. That's huge. So then, especially when you're hardening things off outside and you put it out on the porch for the first time and the wind blows them all over, oh, it drives me crazy. So I don't know why I waited so long to get these things, but I love them. So thanks for hanging out with me. If you have any questions about anything I plant, I'd be happy to answer. So thanks again, and I'll catch you next time.